So today's class in golf yoga is me focused around the movement in the joints because the joints that are overused start to get achy and even arthritic, right? So there's been many studies proven that with a 3-month regimen of moving with yoga, slow, mindful yoga with breath, that you can have a long-term, fully functioning movement in the joints that were once not fully functioning. So that was pretty cool. And I was studying about that in this book called Yoga as Medicine. It's pretty cool. And it goes on to say that joint movement can help to bring nutrients into the cartilage, which lack the blood supply to stay healthy. So we're gonna move our cartilage. So let's do it.
Sounds good.
I know, with all of that. So we're gonna start on our backs today. So go ahead and come onto your backs. Keep your shoulders deep. And just relax into the breath. Relax into a soft face and relax into the corners of your eyes. So there's something else interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and do that so you can all hear me clearly. I hope that will help. When you relax through the corners of the eyes, the entire body also relaxes. So that's written by another yogi named Yangar, BKS Yangar. So I'd really like you to focus on that focal point and see how it also helps to relax the corners of your body. And just find a nice breath that can support your movement today. And so there's that old nursery rhyme song that says your shin bone's connected to your knee bone, and I'll keep going, right? Knee bone's connected to your thigh bone's connected to your hip bone. So we're knowing that as yogis and as second graders, we know that if we can increase the motion in your hips, it will connect and increase the motion in your knees, which will in turn increase your motion in your ankles and in your toes. So we're going to move in that way, seeing where, even in a distal area of the body, it affects the more medial area of the body, in the middle of the hips and vice versa. And just play with this idea to see how it truly affects our bones and our muscles so that we can find a more moving pattern, freeing pattern in our body. So let's go ahead and begin with that. And lift the arms up now from this laying down position with the next inhale up and over your head. And bring the arms behind you so the palms are pointed up. And then exhale, bring the arms all the way back down by your hips. We're going to do that like 6 times. So just inhale, move the arms slowly through a nice strong range of motion through the shoulders. And exhale, bring the hands down. And keep going, freeing that area in the glenohumeral joint, which is basically the shoulder. And a couple more times. And then when we get to the back on this last one, with the hands over your head, I want you to circle out your wrists. Circle them out. And I want you to see if you can feel what it does to your elbows, to your shoulders, maybe even to your upper back. And then place the hands all the way back down by your hips. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with our hips. So we're just moving dynamically, warming up through the joints. Inhale, lift the hips up, press into the arms. And feel what that does to your knees. And then exhale, bring it down. And we're going to do this 6 times. Inhale, lift up the hips. What does it do to the knees? What does it do to the ankles? And exhale, bring it down. And then start to build this confidence in knowing that you truly do affect different parts of the body, although you're only really actively moving one of them, right? Good. 2 more. Inhale and lift. Exhale and lower. And then on this next inhale to lift, stay there. Press into your arms in this high lifted bridge pose and notice how the hip lift affects the shoulder joint, affects the neck joint. Good. And breathe in. And breathe out. And then notice how it affects the ankle joint, the wrist joint, Good. And then on the next exhale, lower all the way back down. Bring the right knee into your chest with your inhale. And with your exhale, hold there and flex the toes towards the belly. So inhale, gentle pull in. And then exhale, flex the toes towards the shin. And just feel how this deep hip stretch also stretches the knee, stretches the ankle. One more. Good, and then extend the right leg all the way up. Flex the toes towards the shin. Good. And then I want you to feel this stretch behind the hammy like we generally do. Hold on to the back of the leg. Inhale, push into the left foot, lift the hips up. And just notice how it affects the right leg and bring it down. Inhale, lift up the hip, push into the left foot. And exhale, bring it down. We're gonna do this 6 times. Okay, and then explore the left ankle, the left knee joint, the left hip, and down. And just keep going. Super curious about your joints, what happens, how you can affect it and change patterns of movement that you maybe have been holding on to without even realizing, oh, this is why this does that. How can I fix this to be more in alignment and to move safer and prevent injury, right? Good. Fold the right leg down, place the foot flat. Inhale, left knee comes in. Good. So inhale, gently pull in, getting that nice deep joint connection, right, of the thigh bone to the hip bone. And then flexing the toes towards the shin. Okay, just a few breaths here. Inhale, pulling in. Exhale, flexing. Again. And then extending the left leg all the way up. Good. Okay, so we're just feeling a nice stretch behind the hammy. We're lengthening the spine. And we're just finding a nice, safe range of motion to move through so that when things become more complex, we understand what's happening. Here we go. Push into the right foot and explore the body. The medial area, the lifting of the hip. The distal area, right, which is from center, the most distant part of our ankles, right? Our shoulders, feel all of it lift. And not only are we exploring the joint, we're also exploring that right glute, the power of the right glute, the independent power of the right glute. 2 more. Trying to come down is a nice even movement, not collapsing one hip, right, which was also going to transition to the swing, and then fold the left leg down. Place the left foot flat on the ground. Go ahead and grab your strap now, please. And you're gonna bring your right knee into your chest again to wrap the strap around the right ball of your foot, so the top part of your foot, and then even up the strap. Good. And so you've got your arms equal length, right, evened up with the hands. And then we're gonna go a little deeper. So you're gonna pull that right leg towards you. And then I want you to push into the left foot and lift up the hips. Okay, and then we're gonna see if we can move now that right hip any deeper into the joint. So we're gonna circle without swaying the left hip, circle the right leg. Trying to keep super still on the left hip. And circle, little baby circles to the right, yeah. And just kind of stop now in the middle and pull that leg into the hip joint, lift a little higher. Hold. Where do you feel this? Where are you losing a connection? Is your lower back starting to give? Squeeze the belly, align your back to be straight again. And then slowly lower down the hips. Extend the left leg straight. Bring a strap into the left hand. Release the right arm down and shoulder down. Lengthen the right leg high, flex the toe to affect the hip, and then just bring it only about halfway to the left and stop. Pull the leg deeper towards the chest until you feel something maybe in the piriformis here, right in the right side of the hip. And then bend the right knee. Yep. And then go ahead and bring the knee all the way down. Look over the right shoulder. Take a breath. And then lift that right leg all the way back up with the muscles in the core. And then switch hands. Bring the strap into the right hand. Left hand comes down for support and to stabilize the left hip. Okay, rotate the right leg only halfway out and pause. Pull the right leg into the hip bone. Soften at the shoulders. Feel if you start to round here because you become too tense. Okay, and just keep using this to the translation. So this would be the top of the swing, right? What happens? Good. And then maybe go a little deeper, but continue to stabilize through the left hip, through the stomach, through the shoulders, down and back. Bend the right knee, pull the right knee towards the right shoulder, and notice how bending the right knee affects this hip even more. Can you find a smooth breath? And can you stabilize through the left leg by pressing the left leg down? Excellent. Okay, lift the right leg all the way up. Bring the right leg down and switch sides. Bring the left knee in. Bring the strap around the left arch of your foot. I'm sorry, not arch, ball of your foot, ball of your foot. Top part. Good. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and pull the leg in. Pull it into the hip socket even more. Finding that deep connection beyond just the muscles. We're trying to go deeper right into the bones, into the cartilage. Good. And then go ahead and extend the right leg out. Bring the strap into the right hand only. Bring the left arm down by your side. Lengthen through the side body. And then exhale, bring the left leg to the right just halfway. And it might be less, it depends, right? And just look for a connection with the bones on the inside of the hip and the outside of the hip. Flex the toe bones towards the body. Start to notice what happens with the back if you're starting to protect, right? An arch. And then bend the left knee and go all the way down. Take a breath here, coil to the left. And then re-extend. Lift the left leg all the way up to the sky. Switch hands. Bring that left, or the strap into the left hand. Stabilize through the right hip. Push the bones down to the floor. Go halfway to the left. Stop until you feel that strong sensation and connection. Not arching the back, right? Bend the left knee and pull the knee into the shoulder. But keep stabilizing, stabilizing. Can you engage your core more to protect the lower back? And breathe. And then extend the left leg out again and maybe go a little wider, but only until you find how much you can turn through your hips to support and align back. So that's your point. You learn it in a slow moving pace in yoga, so that when you do it on the swing, okay, I know that I can only turn this hip so much before I dump in my back and I'll end up injuring myself. So get curious about your body. Good. And then go ahead, inhale, lift the left leg up and release the strap off of the foot and bring the knees back to a bend. Good. Okay, so let's see if we create a little bit more space in the hips. So bring the feet, I'm going to say, a little bit further away from the hips. Bring the arms down beside your waist or your hips. I'd like the palms pointed down. And then I want you to press your shoulders down to the floor to where your collarbones start to lift up. And notice if you arch your back. If you do, plug in your belly muscles or hug the ribs in. Then push into your feet to lift up. Good. And then keep walking the arms closer together under the body and push into the arms more. Push into the arms more and notice if you can lengthen and feel more of a stretch anywhere else in the body. Through the toes, the ankles, the knees. Where is your point, right, of biggest sensation? And breathe into them. Feed the cartilage, right, with circulation, which in turn feeds the bones, the arthritic areas of the body, into more movement. One more breath, and then gently lower down. Bring the knees into the chest. Inhale, lift the chest up towards the legs. And exhale, release the chest and the head all the way down. Again, inhale, lift up the chest. Notice if your neck starts to crick forward, right, that dumping thing, and come down. And again, one more. Inhale, lift up, and maintain that aligned spine, which means strong engagement of the stomach muscles. Hold on to the back of the legs and extend them out. And notice if this is possible. Can you keep your back aligned, your neck in, your arms out, and completely support yourself? This is a hard one. One more breath. Good, I'm shaking, don't worry. And pull the knees in, release. Good job. Okay, roll to one side of your body and come all the way up. Okay, I'd like you to swing. Once you're up, swing the feet to the right. And then we're going to use the strap again, so keep it close by. So swing the feet to the right. And I want you to lengthen through the side of the body and lift the arms up. Yeah, nice and high. And then I want you to pretend like you're getting into a pair of really tight, skinny jeans and kind of wiggle your hips into them and shove in all the mass in there, right? And then I'd like you to bring your hands back to your hips, but don't lose the length in your spine. And then I want you to twist to the right, your torso to the right, but keep your hips stable. Twist, 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 see what happens. And then push into the right knee and left knee and see if you can lift higher. Just by creating a little bit more of that push-pull. Good, and come back to the middle. Good. Again, inhale, lift up. Get your hips into it, wiggle into the jeans. And then exhale, twist to the left and bring your hands down. So you're gonna notice in the shape of my body, I completely collapsed. That sucked. Don't do what Laura does. So if you wanna really keep your belly in, and I'm turning too much. For me today, this is enough. Because I start to do this weird thing, right? So I'm just gonna stop about there because I want my back straight. So find your stopping point. And then push into the right knee to feel this deep internal rotation of the hip through the joint. And just breathe into it. Breathe in that circulation into the cartilage, into the hips. So this is essentially, right, the finish of the swing here. And then if you're still okay, really engage the core. Walk the hands forward maybe 2 to 6 inches. Walk forward. And keep staying connected to the center of gravity here. Good. One more breath. And then come all the way forward. Undo that. Send the right leg straight, connected to the inner left foot. So you may want to grab your strap for this one. Again, we're going to inhale to lengthen through the side body. Everything's all about the space you can create to have more breath, more moving turn, right? And then exhale, can you find the bottom of your foot? If you can't, this is where the strap is going to come handy. So strap or no strap, it's up to you. And then find a nice straight back. The moment you start to dump into the low back, you're going to see the hill on your high back. And I'm going to do this sideways so you guys can see me. That is not what, no bueno. We want bueno. So I want to lengthen and keep my back straight. So for me today, I have to go maybe this far. This is my spot today. I'm going to stay connected with my left hand to my right foot. And then I want to inhale and coil from my thoracic spine and lift the right arm up. If it looks like this, that's not a good turn. I'm not going to get much distance out of that. It has to be from here and turn, that straight spine. Feel your right hip stable, your left hip stable. And then come all the way back to the foot. Good. And walk the hands up. Okay, we're going to switch sides. Cool. Feet to the left. Get your strap again. Okay, so first we're going to turn to the left. So first get skinny. Lift up through the sides body. Good. And then once you're satisfied, hands to the hips and turn left. Exhale. Feel this nice internal rotation, right, of the left hip here. And the right hip is externally rotated. Just breathe into it. How's the finish going of your swing? Can you keep length? Can you maintain the spine? Can you keep breathing and you collapse and puff out? And then let's go to the other side. Again, you lengthen. Always length because that gives you more space to turn. And then we turn to the right. Lengthen again, inhale. Don't arch the back. Exhale and turn. And I'm going to prove that to you again in a second with what happens when you don't lengthen before you really breathe or swing. There's so much less space to provide movement around the center axis of the joints. Okay, walk the hands forward until you start to dump into the low back and pause. Good. And then again, lift up the right arm and turn. And release. Okay, release that, let it go, come back to center. So cross your legs for a second, let that go. And I want you to get really slouchy, just kind of like no confident, right? No structure to the spine. And take a deep breath through your nose. The biggest one you can bring in, and then exhale. And then do it again, try to get even more breath. And exhale. Good. Okay, now sit up really tall. Okay, so lift up your arms, get tall and skinny. Stretch out, make space. Okay, and then bring your hands down wherever you want them, but keep your spine. And now take a deep inhale through your nose. And exhale. And then again, inhale. And exhale. You should feel a huge difference in the quality of your ability to breathe and to feel that breath in your back and movement. When you're kind of scrunched over, there's nowhere to go. There's no space in between. I hope you were able to feel that. I am uncertain if I did something properly on this side, so I'm going to do it again and just make sure. If I got it incorrect, don't tell me, I'm sure. I swing your legs, your feet, I'm sorry, to the right for a second. I can't recall if we did the left arm on this side, so I'm going to do it again, just for kicks. So bring the feet to the right, bring your hands to the left, lengthen your spine, and then lift up the left arm. Did we do this side already? I can't remember. We did? Oh, good. Okay. I'm second guessing myself. Thanks, Janet. Janet says yes, so we're good. Send your legs out. Okay, so we are going to now bring the right foot to the left side. Okay, let's complete this full cycle on the left. So again, you're going to inhale to find the space to breathe, a nice stable base, and then exhale, bring it down. Holding on to the foot or using the strap. Okay, inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale down. Here's where I wanted that rotation. I was getting excited. Hold on to the foot with the right hand, and this is where I want you to turn. So lift the left arm up and turn. Here it is. The right elbow can bend. There you go. So you should feel this right along your bra strap line, right, ladies? Excellent. Okay, and then bring it down. Good. Come back up. Shake it out, bounce your knees, get some movement. Strap. So we're going to come back to the right side. So I'd like you to please bend the left knee and keep the right leg straight. Okay, and then this time your legs, everything is in that same plane of motion. We're not wide like we were on that first stretch. And then walk the left foot out, I don't know, about a fist. Let's go with a fist between your inner thigh and your left ankle. Yeah, and then you're going to see that maybe the left glute comes up. That's okay. With time, it will be able to come down. For now, wherever you are is fine. Okay, just hold the strap in one of your hands, doesn't matter. Or you can even just drape it over the foot. And now we're going to inhale, lift up again, out and feel those bones, and then exhale, see if you can find the toe. If you can't, this is where your strap is going to come handy. And I want you to adduct that knee towards the shoulder. And just feel all of the different areas in the body that this little movement is doing. So you're stabilizing the right hip. Your back is straightening upward. The crown of the head is reaching upward. Your shoulders, instead of shrugging, you're trying to pull them down. A lot of things happening here. Okay, so we have this, we feel good about it. Okay, now let's coil. Let's see if we can bring some more movement to the upper back. So I would like you to bring the strap into the left hand only. Keep the knee bearing into the left shoulder, really muscularly turn, and then bring the right hand behind your hip onto the ground, fingertips to spine. Lengthen, right, find that space to breathe, and then exhale, look over the right shoulder. And stay there. Each time you exhale, see if you can find a little bit more height with the spine. Good. Okay, then from here, you're probably getting a little heat. You're breaking up that cartilage. I want you to bring the right hand to your lower back, please. You're still holding onto the strap with the left hand. Bring the right hand to your lower back and just turn. Good. Okay, now with that strap around your right foot, if you still have it, I want you to reach a little bit more closer towards the foot so that you can bring your left arm a little bit more ahead of the left knee. And then I'd like you to wrap your left arm around the front of the shin. So I'm going to turn sideways because I really want you all to see, maybe actually backwards. I want you all to see what I'm going to do. So I'm stable through the base. My right arm is reaching to my lower back. My left arm is reaching forward, and then I'm bringing my hands outside of my hip and binding. If I can't reach, this is where the strap comes in. You're going to just kind of turn that strap until you catch it, and you're going to lift to really turn through the spine. Did you guys see how I did that? I'm going to do it again. So, okay, so Linda's reaching with her left arm to the right foot. I want you to take that left arm, reach it forward, and wrap it around the front of the shin. Left arm wraps around the front of the left shin. And you're kind of taking that hand and gripping with the strap if you need it. You got it, Janet? I can't tell. Yes, Janet, you got it. Good. So you're wrapping around, the right arm is to the lower back and looking for the strap or your hand. Yes, it's hard. That's your mid back. And then once you get that, I want you to lean forward. So with the strap or without the strap, you could lean forward. And then lift the right shoulder up, top of the swing, right? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Release that bind. Release the left leg and shake it out. Do you guys have any questions about that one? You can unmute if you want. You're good? Okay. We're going to do that on the other side. So bounce out your knees, do what you need to. You might have feel, oh, so you know what? Let's do something. I want you guys to feel what you just broke up. Bring your hands on top of your thighs and then sit up tall. So here's my lazy posture. And here's my more erect posture. And then I'm going to just like a cat-cow, right? Inhale, kind of stretch out the chest. And then exhale and bring the chin in. And then kind of be curious around your spine. Where am I feeling most stretched or most sensation? And for me, I've done this a lot, right? So I know it's this thoracic spine. That's my spot. I'm always arching. My posture isn't always the best. And I know I kind of hit the ground whenever I practice. So that's my focal point. That's where I know is my restricted area. And if I can open that up, think about all the more coiling I can do, no matter what I'm trying to achieve. So let's try that on the other side. So we're going to bend the right foot, right knee. Left leg is straight, holding around the right shin. Okay. Yes, making sure I got that right. Okay, so let's lift up. Inhale. So again, that right foot is a fist distance between my inner thigh and right foot. I'm trying to stabilize through my hips. And then exhale, we're gonna reach. And I already know my right hip, I had no problem reaching that foot on the first side. This hip is tight. Whatever the reason is, it is what it is. So I'm gonna definitely grab my strap and reach for that because I want my right hip to open up a little bit. Because I can see comfortable, I look like I'm like a crippled little wing here, right? I want my wing to be strong. So hug in your hip and find that straight back. And then you're gonna inhale to lengthen, right, to find that space with that connection of the knee to the shoulder. And then I'm gonna hinge forward, maybe get a little closer towards the foot. And I'm gonna find that my knee, my hip isn't as cooperative already, so I wanna stay here an extra breath. Good. And then I'm gonna hold the strap in the left hand only, since that's what I'm using on this side. If you're not using a strap, it's fine, you can just hold on to the foot. And then I'm gonna reach my right hand forward, because I want my shoulder to be even with my right knee. And I feel all sorts of sensation right now in my right hip bone. Okay, and I'm gonna straighten out my spine, fix my shoulders, and then wrap my right hand, right? It's gonna go and turn so y'all can see. My right arm is gonna wrap around the front of my right shin onto my right hip. Yep, and reach forward. Okay, then take the strap off the foot if you have it, and bring the left hand behind your left hip and turn. Turn to the left. Flex the toe. And then again, you're gonna bind. You're gonna bring that strap that's in the left hand, and you're gonna swing it to the right hand until you can coil and twist. So I can release the strap now. I've opened up enough to where I can hold my leg without the strap, so that's up to you. And you're gonna lengthen from wherever you're in. Nice, Janet, nice. I can't see Linda, I think you're good, good. And then see if you can let go of that strap around the left foot, Linda, and take the left hand to your lower back. Left hand to the lower back, right. And you're going to try to find your right hand that's outside the right hip. Does that make sense? No, okay. So Janet, you just keep binding over there, girl. So I reach forward with my arms, and I'm basically hugging my right shin, but I hug backwards. That's it. That's all I'm doing, is I'm hugging backwards. So forward, and then binding at the back of the hip. This one's hard, and it might be, you know, a joint thing, and everybody's joints are different. And then you're gonna look over the left shoulder. So I want to get nice and close so you can see exactly what I look like. It's tough. Good. And then let the bind go. Put the strap down and shake out the hips. So you find your restrictions from one hip to the other, and so you know, okay, so since that was easier on my left, I have a really strong finish, but the top of my swing might be limited, so maybe that's why I'm not getting as much distance. Whatever, you start to find these little things that start to make sense in the body. All right, so we're gonna go ahead now and come all the way up into downward dog. So let's feel what we did in the space in our hips. So hands down, and just transition, nice and easy to downward dog. Okay, and then find some movement, right? So bend the knee, one knee, and then the other, and just feel the effect of the hip, and then look for a straight back, right? And then after a couple of pedalings of the dog, find some stillness. Lift the tailbone nice and high. Press through the index finger and thumbs of both hands. Hug the shoulders down. Pull the belly muscles in. And breathe. Smooth inhale. Smooth exhale. So with these arms extended in front of us, we automatically get that long length in the side of the body, so the breath becomes much easier to breathe in and out. Good. Please lift the right leg up into the sky. Good. And then bend the knee and lift the kneecap, the right kneecap, up toward the ceiling, and just feel the effect on the hip joint. And then re-extend it and bring it down. Lower down to the knees, take a break. Sit onto the heels and circle out the wrists. Okay, we're gonna do that on the other side. Okay. Hands come down. Lift up again, downward dog, and take 3 long breaths in and out through the side of the waist. Get curious about the side of the waist and the hips. Left leg, please lift it up to the sky and stretch it. Exhale, bend the left knee, and lift the left kneecap up to the ceiling. And feel what it does to the hip bone. Keep your weight evenly distributed in the left hand and the right hand. Breathe into the left side of the body. And then re-extend the left leg up. And then downward dog. Slowly walk your hands towards your feet. Nice and slow. Hands to the feet. And then take a look at your feet before you even move them. I want you to notice, are your toes opened up outside, like externally, or are they already facing forward? That has a lot to do with your hip mobility, your ability to externally and internally rotate. So when I walk my hands back, my toes automatically opened up, so I know I'm more comfortable externally rotated. So that's why those binds were really hard to do earlier. So bend the knees here, let the head fold down, and reach with the top of your head to the ground and lift your tailbone up. So you're really having this length again in the side of the body, and then play with the shifting of your weight into the front part of the feet. Keep your fingertips down. If you don't reach, bend your knees a little. And then inhale, look to the top of your mat to strengthen and lift your spine. Good. And then exhale, refold down. Take 3 breaths in this folding down. Maybe grab your calves and go a little deeper. Fold a little deeper. Internally rotate the hips. Lengthen the inner thigh up into the hip bone. Push down through the big toes. Good. And then release your hands and lift all the way up to standing. Feel your legs. The strength maybe or sensation in the hips. Okay, I'm gonna come back to forward. I would like you to lift up your hands again over your head to create that space to breathe. I don't know if you can see my hands. And then exhale, send the hips left and reach with the arms to the right. Stay there, and then turn your left rib cage up. Slip your belly in. Protect your lower back. Good. And then inhale, lift all the way up again. We're gonna set our hips to the right and exhale. And just feel, you should feel like crazy fascia happening here, which is the lining that hugs the muscles or attaches the muscles to the bones that we're really stretching. Open up the right rib cage. You just feel lots of sensation, lots of opening, energy moving, blood moving, circulation moving here. And then lift back up and release. Okay, open your feet up wider than your hips now. I'm going to keep going with this spine movement, this upper back movement through a really stable base. And then flip the right toes to the right. The right arch, right? And I've done this before with you all live. My right heel, is aligned with my left arch. And my ankles are pretty much under my wrists. So that's how I know my body width and what I should do. So just take a quick look. Yeah. And then we're gonna lengthen through the side to stabilize the hips and invite more movement into that bra strap area or that coiling area. So lift up your arms and inhale. Get into those skinny pants. Exhale like a T. And reach and pause over the right leg. Then look down at your kneecap, your right kneecap. Check if your armpit is right over the right knee. That's how you know you're in a pretty good alignment. And then from there, release the right fingertips towards the shin, the ankle, or maybe even the ground. It depends on your back. And lift the left arm. So now I want you to pay attention to the underneath ribs. So now bring your left arm to your right ribs, please. And see if you can lengthen them, the bottom ones. So if they're kind of like hugging in and you're making this weird V or U in your ribs, lengthen. Then lift up the left arm again. And then I want you to try to stay there. Your gaze can be right across, can be down, can be up. It's wherever you're comfortable, but we're looking for space in the mid-back. So then reach the left fingertips up to the sky. And you shouldn't be dumping any weight into the right fingers. It should be the right foot. And then press both feet into the earth. And feel what that does to your ribs. Good. Okay, and then breathe. Push your feet in. Feel the rotation in the mid-back. And then bring the left hand down towards the right hand. Can you lengthen your spine any more forward? And then inhale, lift the left arm up again. Good. Push into the feet. Use the ground to create more traction. Exhale, bring the left hand down. Reach the crown of the head forward over your right toes. One more time. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, bring the right hand down. I'm sorry, left hand down to the right hand. Good. Now bring your hands to your hips slowly to support your lower back. Scoop your belly in. Bend the right knee. Push into the right foot and lift all the way up. Spin your toes and heel toe the feet back in. Okay, so I want you to see the difference now that we just did into the side of the body. See if you can feel it. So inhale the arms all the way up again. Send the hips to the right and send the arms to the left. Can you go any deeper? And then inhale up and reach the hips left and torso right. It still feels a little stiff on the side for me, so let's go and even that out. Inhale, lift up, and relax. Okay, come back into that wide stance. Flip the left toes out this time. Find that heel, left heel, right arch alignment under the wrist. So this is taken from BKS Yangar, this appropriate alignment. Okay, and then that seems good. I feel like I'm all right. I'm pushing through my feet, so let me get long through my waist. So I'm going to inhale. Shoulders back, belly in, and then exhale. And then begin to hinge over the left leg. Look down at the left knee. Is my armpit over the knee yet? That looks good. Hand down to the shin. And then right arm opens. And then just pause there for a few breaths. So I'm seeing some collapsing on this side. I don't know if you all can feel it. So Linda, bring your right hand to your left waist, like your left ribs, your top hand. And you're gonna feel that V, so bring it on the inside part. Can you hug the left ribs with your right arm? So instead of it here, keep going under. And then I want you to lengthen the ribs long. So you're like dumping into your lower back there. You probably can feel it. I want you to get straightened out and then lift the arm up. And then you can go deeper. Yeah, good. So that whole thing is that you don't want to see any crevices or any triangles on the bottom. That means you're collapsing in your lower back. You're not creating any more openness in the upper back. Good. And then again, the gaze can go forward, up, or down. No weight is in my left fingers. It's all through my feet. So push now through the feet, lengthen. Good. And then exhale, bring the right hand down. Can you lengthen the spine any more forward and send the left hip back towards the right heel? Good. And then again, open it back up. Inhale. Good. And then exhale, bring it down. And look for that sensation in the bra strap line one more time. Inhale, open. Straighten that back, reach forward. Look at yourselves in the pictures if you can see it. Good. And then exhale. Good. Okay, then bend the knee, left knee. Bring your hands to your waist. Push into the left foot and come up. Excellent. Turn the toes. So I want to just show you, whenever you're trying to get space in the mid-back, if you, whatever you're doing, so here, you start to see, so this is more of like a hinge. I'm not using my hips to do anything, and I get this little weird V in my waistline. So you want to lift up and out of it, so I feel it more in my mid-back. So that's all a triangle pose does, is look to gain width in the mid-back so that you can turn more and have freedom of movement in life with whatever you're trying to achieve. So let's just clear all of that space now so we can get rid of the strap. And we're going to come onto the top of our mats. So come to the top of your yoga mat. Let's just feel the freedom we've created in the body. So let's inhale, please, and find a nice, tall, slow, strong mountain pose. And then exhale slowly through the middle of the body and find your toes. Inhale, lift up through the spine, halfway. And then exhale, step it back into a plank pose or tabletop. Bend at the elbows and lower down to your belly. Push into the ground. Inhale and lift the collarbones up. Squeeze the scapula together. And then exhale, downward dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. Just to feel the newfound freedom. Look to your hands, walk it forward, nice and slow. Look for that head reaching down, tailbone up. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hinge all the way down at the hip. All the way up to standing. Push through your feet to lift the spine and arms up, please. Exhale through the middle of the body again and fold. Look for joint connection halfway up. All the way back to a plank pose. Strong base of the spine, lower to the belly. Drag the yoga mat back. Inhale, the collarbones up, squeeze the scapula. And downward dog. One more time, look between your hands, walk it forward. And exhale, let it go. Halfway lift, inhale. All the way down, exhale. All the way up, mountain pose, hands over your head and stretch. All the way down again through the middle. Halfway up again, work on that posture. Plank pose, step back. Working on the belly. Bend at the elbows, get the triceps working, lower down like a staff to the floor. Inhale, cobra. And downward dog, exhale. Bring your knees down, please. And take a child's pose. A well-deserved child's pose. And I'd like you to just feel through the hips. Feel through the knees, the ankles, the toes. Maybe bring some movement into the arms, to the shoulders. Just feel the body. Assess how the joints are different than maybe when we first began. And then please widen your knees. Your big toes still touch, but get your knees pretty darn wide. And then lift your chest up to look towards the fingers and see how this creates a little bit of a pull in that thoracic spine. Hold there and just breathe. And then walk your hands closer towards the midline until your arms become straight and you're kind of lifted up. And we're going to do one final posture to really find a full circle through the hip joints and how they affect the knees and the ankles and the upper back and the shoulders and all that good stuff. So if you're comfortable here, I'd like you to inhale, keep your belly in, but lift your collarbones up and squeeze your backbones together. And exhale at the top, stay there. Inhale, squeeze your collarbones together. Exhale. And then bring it all the way down. Good job, you two. Okay, cross the ankles. And come back to laying down, please. Come back to laying down on your back. And just let the knees go left and right. Just see how everything has maybe changed, shifted. There's no longer a charge around stiffness. There's a charge around mobility, strength, control. Good. And then find some stillness and just bring the knees wide and bring the bottom of the feet to touch. This is called Supta Baddha Konasana, which is just fancy for laying down with your legs in like a butterfly. And just let gravity do the rest of the work. Let your bones begin to settle. Feel any remainder of the heat rising to the top of the body. See if you can sense that. And begin to invite some deeper breath in and out through the nose. With each inhale, maybe silently repeating, I am. And exhale, just fill it in on your own. It can be anything. I am flexible, I am peaceful. Kind of just smooth out the corners. And stay tethered to your breath. Do that at least 3 times. And then go ahead and bring the knees back together and extend the legs out straight into Shavasana. Again, come back to relaxing through the corners of your eyes. And feel how the connective tissue of the corner of your eyes affect the entire expression on your face to relax deeper. And how relaxing the corners of your eyes relax your shoulders deeper. And the shoulders relaxing, relax your lower back. And your lower back encourages your hips to be held neutrally, to relax your legs and your toes. And just be still for 1 minute. 1 minute to observe and truly feel the effects of the practice. And just notice how you stay connected to the breath. The thoughts become minimal. Or at least there's a small pause in between them to allow you to remain at peace. And just feel the effects of this gentle asana and breathing has resulted in improved strength and mobility in your body. And with the next inhale, welcome some movement back into your joints. And bend your knees and roll to the right. And when you're ready to come all the way up, find yourself with a straight spine. Rest your hands on your knees. Press down through the weight of your sit bones. Lengthen up through the strength of your spine. Feel the long-term, hopefully, effects, right, of this practice. Stick with it. It gets easier and better each time. And things that were once impossible become possible. So namaste. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to stop doing that.